Hello everyone, welcome to learn SMT Know-How presented by Vibitech Solution Private Limited. Today's topic is the most common factor used at SMT shop floor, that is ESD. When you start working in any SMT company, you will first get the training of ESD. The full form of ESD is Electrostatic Discharge. You have also seen in any audit, the auditors always focuses on the ESD. This might be because they don't know the SMT process in details or any other reason, but due to this, the unnecessary investment on the SMT shop floor is done for ESD control. But my experience says if you have made the basic precautions for ESD at your workplace, then there is no need of making an extra investment, as the component failure due to the ESD is very rare. In today's video, we have shown the basic requirement for ESD control at your workplace. Let's begin with what is ESD. As explained, ESD full form is an electrostatic discharge. Electrostatic discharge is a sudden transfer or the discharge of static charge from one object to the another object. The static charge develops in our body when we do any movement like bending, walking, shifting on, rolling in a chair on waxed floor, or walking on a synthetic carpets. It is more higher when the relative humidity is less. When we use a plastic, synthetics and insulator, the chances of static charge is more. One of the common example you will come across is when you touch a doorknob. If your body is charged up with a static electricity, usually after walking or dragging the feet across the carpet, when you touch a doorknob, this static electricity will transfer to the doorknob and to the ground. And when it occurs, you will get a very mild electric shock. This mild electric shock will not cause any damage to the human. A human can feel the static charge at 3000 volts. You can hear it at 5000 volt, and you can see a small lightning at 10,000 volt. But if this amount of charge is transferred to the electronic components, it can cause the big damage. Let's check how much static charge we generate by our day-to-day activities. Like when we walk across a carpet, we generate around 1500 to 35,000 volts. When we walk over a shop floor, we generate 250 to 12,000 volts. The envelope used for the work instruction generate around 600 to 7,000 volts. The worker working on the table can generate around 700 to 6,000 volts, and unwinding the tape, that is the scratch tape, generates 9,000 to 15,000 volts. Now, you might thinking how it is possible that the human not get any harm by this much higher voltage. This is because even though the voltage is very higher, but the current is negligible. Let's check an example to explain this point. You all have seen the mosquito bat. You know when a mosquito come in contact with the bat, it gets totally burnt. This is due to the higher voltage. Do you know how much voltage a mosquito bat can generate? It is around 500 to 3000 volts. Now again the similar question, why human not get any harm by the higher voltage? Let me explain you. A mosquito bat has a 2 layers of metal mesh, and when a mosquitoes come in contact with these 2 layers, they complete the circuit and receive a shock of about 5 milliampere. This small shock of 5 milliampere is sufficient for a mosquitoes to die. However, when we touch the same bat, we just feel a minor shock. For human to die, an electric shock of 100 to 200 milliampere is needed. Similarly, the higher static voltage will not damage the human, but a very small voltage, about 100 volts, can damage an electronic devices. As the SMT components are very tiny in size, the damage caused due to the ESD cannot be detected by the naked eyes. So to avoid such happening on the shop floor, you need to make some basic SMT rules. Like, assume all the electronic devices and equipment are susceptible to the ESD damage or failure. Keep your work area clean. Eliminate all non-conductors from assembly and test area, or neutralize the static charge with ion system. Handle electronic devices and assemblies only when you are properly ground. Store and transport ESD sensitive items in a static bags or bins only. Use anti-static and dissipative like tabletops, etc. Ground all the conductors and use only the ESD control products. Those who are already working on the SMT shop floor, they might know the ESD control products used at the shop floor. Let's check which products we are using at the shop floor and why we are using those. The most common product used is the ESD aprons. As explained, when we walk, static charge generate in our body. The aprons are made up of polyester material, reduces this generation of static charge. Secondly, we use the head caps. As you know, the dry hair generate the more static charge. The cap reduces the generation of the static charge and avoid the damage of the components. A separate ESD slippers or the shoes are used on the SMT shop floor. The moisture in our feet is absorbed by the socks. It forms a resistive path for charge in the body to move to the sole and of the shoes. Then we use a hand gloves. A hand gloves reduces the static charge on conductive materials which are being handled. It also protects the components or the product from the dust. Similarly, to handle a small parts, finger coats are used to reduce the static charge. The ESD aprons, head caps, the hand gloves, finger coats are used to reduce the generation of static charge. But as explained, when we do any movement, the static charge is developed in our body. And when we touch any other body, it gets transferred to it. In such case, if we are touching any electronic component or a product, that static charge will transfer to the component and it will get damaged. Hence, a wrist strap or foot strap is used to ground this generated or accumulated static charge of our body through a 1 mega ohm of resistance and protect the component from static charge. ESD aprons, head caps, the slippers or ESD shoes, hand gloves, finger coat, wrist strap or foot strap are the basic ESD control products need to be used on the SMT shop floor. We saw the ESD control products which we need to use on the SMT shop floors. Let's check the basic tools needed at the SMT shop floor. The first one is a restrap or foot strap checker. It is used to check whether the restrap is okay or not. So before start of the work, one should compulsorily check the restrap or foot strap. If you found your restrap NG, then immediately change it with the new one. You should maintain a restrap check sheet for each operator. On SMT shop floor, the products such as packing material, component storage bags, the trays, workbench surfaces, tables, shop floor mats, conveyor belts, etc. have a resistance value, which needs to be confirmed to stringent specification. Moreover, these values are expected to fall within a specific limit. The surface resistivity meter can play an important role in monitoring and checking the resistivity characteristic of these items. So one should always have a resistivity meter on SMT shop floor. Another ESD tool is used on the SMT shop floor is a charge plate monitor. The monitoring the balance of air ionizers and the rate of charge decay from a fixed voltage point to any desired ending point of the original charge. For ESD control, the most important precautions one should take at the SMT shop floor is ESD grounding and the electrical grounding. The ESD grounding and electrical grounding should be separate. I repeat, this is very important that the ESD grounding and the electrical grounding should be separate. There should not be any shorting between these two grounding. If there is a shorting between ESD ground and electrical ground, this not only damage the component but it also make a harm to a human, the workers who are using the race strap. So if any worker is making complaint of getting shock after wearing the race strap, need to immediately contact the factory maintenance or the utility to verify the grounding. So the ESD grounding and the electrical grounding should be separate. The ESD parameters which need to be added in the daily ESD audit check sheets are the mat surface resistance, the electrical ground and ESD ground and the mat ground, the electrical ground and electrical neutral, electrical phase to electrical neutral, the race strap resistance. Let me share my experience with the ESD audits. In my previous company, auditors asked to change the wooden rack to the metal rack just to control the ESD. But as per my experience, the wooden rack with ESD mat and grounding is enough. It will not create any static charge generation. One of the auditor asked how you will avoid the static charge generation by the operator while inserting the tray component in the pick and place machine. So we added a wireless wrist strap in the process. Then again the auditor asked a question, how you will check this wireless wrist strap. At that time there was no equipment available to measure it. So then finally after a long discussion it has been decided to remove the wrist strap as the operator is wearing the ESD aprons and the slippers and the shop floor is covered with the ESD mat. So there is no need of wrist strap. So my suggestion is whenever auditor asks you any investment due to the ESD at shop floor, then you must think, is it really required? In my experience, if you have taken care of ESD protection explained in this video, then you will never get any failure of component or product due to the ESD. Along with ESD, the another factor which we need to take care is the cleanliness. As explained last time, the basic of SMT is cleanliness. In SMT, the first priority is clean, second is also clean, and third is also clean. Have you ever think why required to be clean? Make SMT environment clean to improve the quality. In ESD training, we always get a 5S training. So it is divided into the 5S, that is a sort, straighten, shine or clean, standardize, and sustain or self-discipline. The 5S philosophy focuses on the effective workplace organization and standardized work procedures. 5S simplifies your work environment, reduces the waste and non-value activities while improving the quality, efficiency, and safety. The dust control equipment which is commonly used at the SMT shop floor is ESD slippers and air shower room. But even though you are using all this dust control equipment, still the dust entered in the SMT shop floor. This is because the wrong layout of the SMT entrance. So don't forget to join our SMT online training program to know in detail about the SMT know-how.